Okay, guys, do you have sound now on Twitch? Yes, okay, lovely. Great. Well, I'll start again then in that case, for those people who've just been watching slides and thinking, what the fuck is going on? Hi, this is Introduction to Eve Careers. This is introduction class, so it's aimed at super new players. My name is Laura Karpinski. I am your teacher for this class. Hi. I'm also the CEO of Eve University, so I was saying that it's in my best interests for all of our lovely members to be going out and doing stuff and learning stuff and making content, being content, all of that kind of stuff. So that is why I'm doing this class. So, some class rules just to keep everything running nice and smoothly. So, if you're listening on Discord, please can you make sure you have your microphone set to push to talk or mute yourself. If you have any questions, there's two places you can ask questions for this. You can either ask questions in Discord if you're listening on the Eve Uni Discord. By the way, for people who are listening on Twitch, our Discord is public. You can join. If you just go to the Eve Uni Wiki and look up connecting to our services as a guest, there will be instructions on how you can connect to the Eve Uni Discord. So you can ask questions in Discord or you can ask questions in Twitch as well. If you want to ask questions in voice, that is fine if you're on Discord. Just be aware that we're streaming to Twitch, so bear that in mind if you don't want your voice on Twitch to ask questions in chat, and just let me know if you want to ask a question. This class is being recorded because it's being streamed on Twitch, so Twitch automatically records it and stores it for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if we have a current recording of this class on YouTube. If we don't, I will pop it on YouTube as well. And there's no practical element to this class, so just stay somewhere safe. Stay somewhere safe. Usually docked up is preferred, but you know, I'm not the space police. Go and do what you want. Just if you lose your ship because you're distracted, then yeah, that's your own concern, dudes. So what is this class about? So what we're going to talk about in this class, what we're aiming to do in this class, is I'm going to try and introduce you to the main career options for new players. It is a class that is aimed at new players, okay? It's not aimed at super experienced players. It's aimed at newbies. I'm going to try and explain some of the vocabulary and the terminology that you might hear when talking about these various Eve careers. And I'm also going to try and signpost you to where you can try these things out in Eve University. So how can Eve Uni support you in doing these things that we're going to talk about? What this class will not do, which is equally important, so I'm not going to tell you what you should specialise in. I can't tell you that. It's up to you. It's completely subjective. Some of this stuff I'm going to talk about and you're going to be like, no, that sounds awful. Just don't do that. I can't tell you what you're going to find interesting, what you're going to find rewarding, where your priorities should be. Some people prioritise earning ISK, some people prioritise having fun and hanging out with friends, and some people want to do things super efficiently. It's, yeah, different strokes for different folks. You know, I can't tell you what you're going to enjoy. So I'm just going to give you an overview of what is available so that you can then make up your mind as to what you want to do. Hey Freya, welcome back. Our frequent flyer, or one of our frequent flyers. So we are also not going to deep dive into ISK per hour, like how much can you learn doing these particular things. I'm not going to talk about the pros and cons of different things, just because if I did try and talk about pros and cons and ISK per hour and all that kind of stuff of everything I'm going to talk about, this class would last for like 7 hours. And Spanky already complains that my classes are too long, so we will try and keep it to a reasonable length by not covering those things, but I'm going to tell you where you can find more information about them if you want to know that stuff. And then finally, what we're not going to do is we're not going to talk about like more advanced endgame content, because like I say, this class is aimed at new players. It's aimed at super newbies. It's going to be stuff that new players can do. So we're not going to be talking about flying capitals and doing like high level wormholes and AFK ratting in your shiny ships in Null and that kind of thing. We're not going to talk about that stuff because it's just outside of the scope of this class. It's just confusing for new players. So we're just going to focus on this is stuff you can do as a newbie. So let's start where the game starts you. So the game starts you with the career agents and the Air Career Programme. So that is a good place for you to start as well. So Eve basically gives you these two built-in ways of being able to try things safely. So the career agents, first of all, I would recommend doing all of them if you can. If you can stand it, try and do all of the career agents, all 5 career agents. So there's 5 different agents. They cover different areas of the game. So there is Explorer, which talks about probe scanning, relic and data sites, gas harvesting, that kind of thing. Then there is Enforcer, which talks about basic PvE combat. So basic combat against NPCs. Then there is Soldier of Fortune, which is slightly more advanced PvE and trying to introduce some PvP concepts, although it's not PvP because you're not fighting other players, you're fighting NPCs, but it tries to introduce some kind of PvP concepts. Then there is Industrialist. There's 2 Industrialist ones. So there's Entrepreneur, first of all, which covers hauling, manufacturing, salvaging, that kind of thing. And then there is Producer, which covers mining, reprocessing, manufacturing. So there is some overlap between the 2 Industrialist ones, but they're all kind of mining stuff, making stuff, selling stuff, that side of the game. Hey, Freya is on a 7 stream streak. Wow, you are definitely one of our frequent flyers. So the benefits of doing the career agents are you get to learn how to do stuff. So it teaches you the basics of a load of different activities. It also gives you some free stuff. So you get like some free ships and stuff. You get some ISK. There's various benefits from doing the career agents. And if you ever get stuck on any of the career agent missions, bear in mind that the Eve University Wiki has walkthroughs. So if you go to the Eve University Wiki and look up the mission, if you use the search bar and search the mission that you're stuck on, there's a walkthrough for it. So we can, you can find out how to do stuff. If there's something that's just a little bit confusing, just have a look at our wiki. We have guides available. Freya says, well, I can't resist your voice. What else can I say? Pirate Scoar, that's why we're all here. The Baron, she's the most English person I've ever heard. Yeah, I kind of am. Guilty as charged. Verbena, so how do I know which part I want to choose? Well, for now, for the career agents, just do all of them. Try all 5 career agents, and some you're going to hate, some you're going to enjoy, and that's going to be information for you in knowing where you want to go after you've done the career agents. So once you've done the career agents, there's also the Air Career Programme. And this is basically, it's like rewards for doing different activities. So you get ISK and you get skill points for completing various things. Now, I know that there's some people in here who are massive completionists. They like to complete everything. You can fully complete the Air Career Programme. However, I would kind of recommend not using it as a checklist. The problem that I have with the Air Career Programme is some people think that I need to do everything on this Eve Career Programme, so this Air Career Programme, before I can actually go out and do stuff. Don't see it like that, okay? It's not a checklist. You don't have to do all of it. I just kind of treat it as sometimes you get some bonus rewards for experimenting with a new type of activity you haven't done before. So if you do something for the first time, sometimes you get a little pop-up saying, oh, Air Career Programme, we've given you some ISK. And it's like, oh, cool, thanks. But don't think that you need to complete the entire Air Career Programme before you're moving on and doing other stuff. You don't. It's just exposure to some different stuff that you might not have tried. So do those early, do those once you've started the game, and then move on. Move on. And broadly, the game splits these various career areas that we're going to talk about into 4 different areas. They don't fit that neatly. There's some things that cover multiple, there's some things that arguably don't fit into any of the areas, but broadly the game tries to categorize them into 4 different areas. So Enforcer is broadly about fighting NPCs. So fighting non-player characters. In EVE we call them rats, which is from pirates. So pirates shortened becomes rats. So fighting NPCs can take various forms. You can do missions, you can do home fronts, you can do abyssals, you can do incursions. If all of these words are just confusing for you at the moment, that is fine, because we're going to talk about all of these things in more detail. Okay, this is just broadly where they sit in the various categories. So that is Enforcer. It's all about fighting NPCs. Next you have Explorer, which is about exploring. I mean, obviously. So that covers, in the game, that covers data and relic sites and wormholes. Wormholes fall under Explorer. I'm not sure whether that is entirely, but okay. That's where the game puts them. The game puts wormholes in Explorer. So yeah, that's about exploring New Eden. So we're going to talk about exploration and wormholes shortly. And then there is Industrialist, which is broadly making and selling stuff. So that involves things like mining, planetary industry, manufacturing, trading, hauling, all of that kind of stuff. So like supply chain stuff all falls under Industrialist. I just assumed they were vermin until recently. I mean, they are. Shoot the rats, man. And then we have Soldier of Fortune, which is broadly fighting other players. So this includes faction warfare, and PvP fleets and other PvP falls under Soldier of Fortune. That's where the game puts these things that we're going to talk about. So in terms of where to find activities, your best friend for finding activities is the agency, because this is an in-game activity finder. So you can find content that you can do that is nearby. So it updates where you move. So if you move to a different place in EVE and open the agency, it's going to show you different stuff. So it always shows you stuff that is near you at the moment. So it updates as you move around space, which is, it's pretty cool. So if you don't know, if you log in and you don't know what to do right now, check the agency. This is a good thing to check, because you can see what's around you. You can see what agents are around you. You can see what sites you can explore around you. You can see where you can mine stuff, including ice. So yeah, open up the agency and you can see what's near you that you can do. So just to anchor things in terms of security space, because I'm going to talk about high sec, low sec, null sec, and wormholes, and we might have some players here who are super new that don't know what those terms are. So high sec is high security space, and in high sec there is so it's security space 5 and up is high sec, and in high sec we have a space police force, which is Concord, and if someone shoots someone that they're not supposed to, who is not a legal target, then Concord will come along and destroy their ship. They're like the space police. But it's important to note, Concord is retaliation only. They're not defense. So you can still shoot people in high sec. People can still shoot you in high sec, but they're probably going to lose their ship for doing so. Sometimes that's still going to be worth it. If you're carrying something super shiny, it might still be worth them losing their ship, because they're going to get more from what they take from your ship than the cost of losing their ship. Sometimes people just gank if you're shooting someone in high sec that is not a legal target, it's called ganking. Sometimes people gank in high sec just for fun, just for lols. They just like to do something. They just like to blow people up, and that is absolutely fine. The game permits that, just that the consequence is that they're going to lose their ship. And also they're going to lose some security status as well. So high sec is 0.5 and up, but it's called high sec, but it's not entirely safe. You could still die in high sec. Then we have low sec. So low sec is between 0 and 0.5 security status. And in low sec, there is no Concord. There's no space police. Space police will not destroy your ship if you engage a target that is not a legal target. But there are gate guns. So if you engage someone that is close to the gate, then the gate guns will shoot you. And the gate guns can be pretty harsh, especially if you're in a small ship. Gate guns can absolutely wipe you out. Also in low security space, you will also lose security status for engaging people who are not legal targets. So again, there are consequences. But so it's a little bit safer than null security space. There is some security around, but yeah, it's definitely more spicy than high sec. Maximus, good question. How does security status play in this situation, as you mentioned, losing some if ganking? So security status is something that is assigned to your character, and if you get security status below certain levels, you start to have in-game consequences. So for example, you start to get to the point where faction police will shoot you if you go into certain space if your security status is low enough. So, and you start to not be able to take certain missions, for example, because you don't have enough. Hold on, I'm thinking about standings, aren't I? But yeah, you start to have consequences basically for having low security status, and sometimes that's worth it. If you don't want to, if you don't mind that the faction police are going to shoot you, it doesn't really matter to you, does it? But yeah, there's various consequences. If you look up on the wiki security status, you can see the various consequences and the level at which you start to get those consequences. Okay, and then we have null security space. Now, null security space, there is no security. So there's no security, which means that there's no space police, there are no gate guns, you can shoot anyone and not have any in-game consequences for it. And I mean in-game consequences, because if you shoot someone, they're probably going to shoot you back. They're probably going to bring you some friends as well, and their friends are going to shoot you. So I'm talking here about in-game mechanics. Doesn't mean there's not going to be no consequences for shooting someone, but in terms of the game, you don't lose security status for shooting people in nullsec. You don't get shot by the space police or anything like that. So there's no in-game security. And some areas of nullsec are controlled by players, which means that they own the area of space. Not all areas, there's some areas that are owned by NPCs, but there's some areas of space which are owned by players, which is sometimes referred to as SOV nullsec, so sovereign nullsec, because people have claimed certain areas. Verbena says, how can I get my security status back? I'm at -1 now. We've actually got a guide to that on the wiki, I think. If you have a look on the wiki and look for, I think it's repairing security status, it has a guide for the various different options that you can do. You can turn in tags, you can do certain types of missions that will boost your security status, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a guide on the wiki for it. So let's delve in first to PvE combat. Go into PvE combat. So Pirates Go R says, Pirates Go R, that was very posh, wasn't it? Pirates Go R. Just commit to piracy at this point, it'll be fine. I think they might be a little bit biased, maybe, by the name, perhaps. But yeah, piracy. Piracy's fun, man. Piracy is fun. If you have -1 sex status for Benna, you are officially a pirate. So arr, just embrace it. Love it. Maybe a little work needs doing on the arr. Oh, Hellhounds Actual says, God bless Eve University, y'all are the goats. Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you for popping in. Aha, Diablos is shamelessly promoting content, which we love. So Diablos is running a standings fleet soon for people who want to be scary pirates and want to get standings to do the Angels Epic Arc. So if you want to be a pirate, go along to Diablos's You're Not a Pirate Yet event, and you too can be a filthy pirate. I've just seen the counter go up by 1. Awesome. 2, yes. Content promotion, woo. Okay, so where were we? PvE combat. Let's talk about PvE combat. So, missions, first of all. So, missions. There are 5 different levels of doing missions. Start level 1, go to level 5. As it sounds, they get harder the higher level you get. There are 3 different types of missions that you can do. You can do security missions, which are combat. And this is mostly what people are talking about when they talk about missions. So there are 2 other types of missions, but normally when people talk about missions, they mean combat missions. So combat missions, you're going out, you're trying to shoot some rats, shoot some NPCs, and getting paid by NPCs for doing it. So that is security missions. Next, you have distribution missions, which are hauling. So this is agent wants you to move stuff from point A to point B. And as you go up in the levels, the stuff that you are moving from A to B, it gets harder to move the stuff from A to B. Those are called distribution missions. Now, distribution missions are not done that often. Some people do them, but they're not done as often as security missions, because if you're doing hauling, if you're moving stuff from A to B, you can normally get paid a lot more for hauling it for players than you can for agents. So if you've got the hauling ship anyway, if you like hauling and moving from A to B, just do it for players. They will pay you more for doing it. So yes, some people love doing distribution missions, but more people do security missions. And then next you have mining missions. Ooh, we have a raid from Tamiya Cowboy with a raid of 29. Wow, nice. Hey folks, hey, welcome. This is EVE University Introduction to EVE Careers. So this is aimed at new players, trying to give them an idea of the type of content that they can do as new players. Cyric says distro missions are good for the daily 50 LP. That's good to know. So if you want to do the dailies and get some loyalty points, then distribution missions are apparently good for that. Tamiya, thanks very much. Thank you, appreciate it. Captain Pillowfort, I discovered after a month of grinding SOE distribution missions, you don't get much LP versus combat missions. Yeah, sad. So with the mining missions as well, there are mining missions which are agent tells you to mine some stuff, you go and mine some stuff, you give it to the agent. But again, like with the distribution missions, if you're going to do mining anyway, you can normally get more ISK by mining stuff and selling it, or mining it and refining it, or mining it and making it into something else, rather than mining for agents. So for that reason, not a lot of people do mining missions. It's just not worth it. If you're going to be mining, just sell the ore that you're getting rather than doing it for agents. So they do exist, but when we're talking about missions, we're generally talking about the security missions, the combat ones. And missions are good because you can get ISK for doing them. You can also get standings with particular agents, particular corporations, and those standings unlock better agents, better missions. So the more missions you do, the more access you have to higher level missions so that you can get paid more. So it's kind of like a circular thing. Do more missions, you can do more missions. And in EVE University, we have regular mission fleets. So we have our Sunday Gun Day, which is level 4 mission fleets. We also have rotating mission fleets as well in different areas of space. So the idea of these mission fleets, like the Sunday Gun Day level 4s, you don't need to be able to do level 4 missions in order to go along. So you don't need the standings to do level 4 missions, because one person gets the mission and then everybody goes out together in a fleet to complete it. So yeah, you don't need to have the standings to do level 4 missions, just one person does. If you are interested in going along to the Sunday Gun Day, just go along. They're super friendly. They will tell you what to fly, exactly what to do. I think they sometimes have loaners as well, so you can even borrow a ship from them to do the missioning fleet. And it's a good way of boosting up your standings really quickly, doing level 4s. And also it's a social game. So doing stuff with other people in a fleet is sometimes a lot more fun than doing it solo on your own. So yes. Scarthorn says, if there is air daily, it's 2 for 1, since most mine missions take you over 2k mining, which grants an easy 10k SP. Okay, that's also good to know. Can you guys tell that I don't do dailies? So if there is an air daily, and there is one for mining over a certain amount, and there is one for doing a mining mission, if you do the mining mission, you can get 2 for 1. You can complete both dailies by just doing one activity. So nice, easy bonus. Verbena, do I still get the standings for the missions? Yes. If you're doing missions in a fleet, then the rewards and the standings are shared between everyone in the fleet. So everyone will get it. Maximus, are player hauling missions or contracts considered more endgame? Collateral payment upfront is quite expensive. It depends on what you're hauling. Yeah, if you're going to be hauling player contracts, then generally they are not for brand new players, because you're going to need to have a decent sized ship to be able to haul the stuff, and you're probably going to need to pay collateral. So yeah, it's not ideal new player content. Ray Thunderstorm, are standings lost in security missions? Yes. However, as Auric says, yes, there is standing loss, but in Sunday Gun Day we don't take missions against Empire factions, so we don't get the loss. Only against pirates. So yeah, you can lose standings in security missions if you're taking every mission that you're offered. But if you're selective about the ones that you take and don't take the ones which go up against empires, then you won't lose standings. Okay, cool. So Tamia says rewards and standings are only shared up to a maximum of 12 in a fleet. And Ulfborn says up to 10 in a fleet get LP. So yeah, it depends on how many people are in the fleet. So for that reason, they will have a limit on the number of people in the fleet, I believe, so that everybody gets the rewards and the standings. Good point from Verbena. We're going to talk about hauling later on, but Verbena says a lot of hauling contracts can be scams as well, so be careful. Yeah, we're going to talk about hauling a little bit later on, but it's definitely something to be aware of. It's a big area for getting scammed. So if you're in EVE Uni and you're interested in doing missions, go along to one of the mission fleets, go along to the Sunday Gun Day, go along to any of the mission fleets that you see. We also have a missions channel in Discord where you can ask questions about missions, and we can help you out. Draco, do not forget there is a lot of fun and profit to be found in wormhole space. Absolutely, yeah. We're going to cover wormholes shortly when we get to that point. Soulweave, hi, welcome. So next, let's talk about home fronts. And home fronts are a very good way to make ISK as a brand new player. They are one of the best ways, in fact, to make ISK as a brand new player. So what home fronts are, they are small fleet PvE with particular roles. So they are high-sec anomalies, and you will go to them in a fleet. By small fleet, I mean generally like 3 to 5 people. And there are different types of home fronts, so you will decide in advance what type of home front you're going to be running, and then you will go together to do that particular home front. There's 9 different types of home fronts. They all focus on different areas of the game, and they try and teach you stuff that is going to be useful in the wider game. So for example, there is a type of home front that is about repping an NPC ship. So you will have an NPC ship on grid, and some of you in the fleet will have to repair it. They'll have to send remote repairs to the ship to allow it to run away. There's other types of home fronts that involve shooting NPCs, that involve, there's loads of different types of home fronts. I don't run home fronts regularly, so I can't talk about it in any huge amount of detail. However, home fronts are very good ISK for new players. They also give you standings, I believe, and they're a good introduction to fleet structure. So it lets you know what it's like just to fly in a fleet with other people and how to coordinate with other people. So home fronts are really good. And we do lots of home fronts in EVE Uni because they're very good for new players. So have a look at our events. If you haven't found the events yet in the EVE Uni Discord, scroll all the way up to the top of the Discord, click on where it says events, and you'll see all the stuff that's coming up. And go along to stuff that's labelled home fronts. Just go along, literally, just go along and ask all of your questions. It's totally fine to go along and say, I've never done one of these before. Can you explain to me exactly what to do? That is fine, because they will. They will tell you exactly what to do. I believe they have loaners, someone can correct me if not. So you can borrow a ship. And if you borrow a loaner and you're making ISK, doing home fronts, you can even potentially buy the loaner. So you can borrow a ship, do some home fronts with them, you earn enough money that you can then buy the ship, and then you don't need to borrow it next time. It's yours. You can use it next time. So yeah, it's really good for new players. And yeah, probably the best type of ISK that you can make as a new player is home fronts. There's also a home fronts channel in our Discord. So if you're a member in the EVE Uni Discord, if you go to the home fronts channel, you can ask all of your questions, all of your silly questions. We love the silly ones. They are the best ones. Lurex, hi, welcome to our stream. This is Introduction to EVE Careers. So next we have Abyssals. Now, Abyssals are kind of like time-based dungeons. So the way that it works, you use an item called a filament, and this filament then yeets you into a completely different area of space. It's not high sec or low sec or null sec, it's abyssal dead space, so it looks completely different. It looks really cool, so do check it out. And you have a certain amount of time to complete the abyssal. If you do not complete the abyssal after a certain amount of time, the abyssal disappears, it like implodes on itself, and you're dead. You are dead, your ship is lost, your pod is lost, everything is gone, you're just dead. So it's really good if you're limited in time. If you've only got a certain amount of time to play EVE, as so many of us do, like if you come home from work and you're like, okay, I can hop on and play EVE for 30 minutes. Abyssals, ideal. Just, you know that it's going to be a limited time, because if you don't complete it in that time, you're dead. So it's really good if you're time poor and you want to make some ISK. So like with missions, there is a scaling of difficulty levels going all the way from T0 all the way up to T6. So there are different levels of abyssals. You can earn ISK, you can earn loot doing abyssals, and the loot can be very valuable. You can make lots of money selling it. And do just bear in mind that once you launch an abyssal, there is a trace which is in space. So there is something that appears in space that tells people someone is an abyssal in this location. They can then sit on that location, wait for you to come out and kill you. So the scary part does not necessarily end when when you are out of the abyss, because there might be someone trying to kill you once you come out. So just bear in mind that, okay, if you're doing higher level abyssals, because it means there is a higher gank risk, even if you're in high sec. Now, if you are interested in doing abyssals, then we have lots of abyssal practicals, lots of abyssal classes in EVE Uni where you can learn how to do abyssals. We also have the walking, talking abyssal encyclopedia that is Chris Halsky, who knows everything about abyssals and can absolutely answer all of your questions. We also have free abyssal ships on the flight deck. So if you're interested in getting into abyssals, we have free fitted ships which will enable you to do T0 abyssals. So T0 abyssals, that's the lowest level of abyssals. We have skill plans and we have free ships. So if you follow the skill plan and if you use the free ship, you will be able to do T0 abyssals. You'll be able to do them. It's pretty much fail proof as long as you've done those two things, as long as you've got skills and you're using one of our ships. We've got a really good guide on the wiki to running abyssals, how to do them, what the different types are, and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, check out abyssals, ask in the abyssals channel if you have any questions, go along to the practicals, the classes, use our free ships, use our training plans, and you will be set. Verbena, so if I get blown up, can I try again? I just need to have the filament. Yes. So you've lost everything that is in your ship, but you can grab another filament and then go out and do it again. So yeah. Okay, next let's talk about incursions. Oh, we have a shameless plug. We love shameless plugs. Yes, yes. So, Auric says, shameless plug, killing NPC mining fleets. So, yeah, so there is a wiki page here that Auric has kindly linked, which is all about NPC mining operations and how you can go about killing them. So that is another type of content, which is not something I'm covering on my slide. Not as of yet anyway. Maybe I need to add that. So NPC mining operations. Okay, incursions. So what is an incursion? An incursion is a large fleet PvE. So it is, as opposed to home fronts, which are like 3 to 5 people, incursions are like 15 to 20 people. So it's a much bigger fleet. And they also fly much bigger ships. So the incursion ships that they fly tend to be battleships, marauders, high skill point ships. Because the rats that they're fighting are a type of rats called Sansha, and they hit hard. They hit hard, so you need big ships to be able to fight them. We do have a skill plan. If you are interested in getting into incursions, there is a minimum level skill plan for you to train, and then you can just go along to EVE Uni incursions. EVE Uni incursions are open to current members and past members of EVE Uni, and you can just go along. Now, the benefit of incursions is it's basically your printing money. It's probably the best way that you can make ISK in HiSec. You can make lots and lots of ISK, like billions and billions of ISK doing incursions. So that's why people do the training, to get into them, because they can make a lot of ISK. Now, I said that this class is talking about stuff that is accessible for new players, not talking about high-level content, like end-level content, but I've still put incursions in here because, for 2 reasons. So first of all, it's not that much training to get into the ships. If you're focusing on incursions, it's not going to take you more than a few weeks to get into the incursions ships that they use. But also there is a role in incursions which can be done by a brand new player. It's a role called the Dropper, and all you need to do to fly the Dropper is to be able to fly a Venture. All you need to be able to do is just fly a Venture. Super easy. So what I tend to suggest to people is, if you kind of like the idea of incursions but you don't know if you're going to enjoy it, go along to an incursion fleet as a dropper. Ask them, do you need a dropper? Go along and they will tell you exactly what to do, and you will get paid very handsomely for doing a very easy task in a venture that will help the fleet. And I understand that EVE Uni incursions pay first-time droppers double. So if you're doing a dropper role for the first time, they will pay you double for doing it. The dropper is the kind of role where if they don't have a new bro that wants to do it, just someone will do it with an alt. So they will just multi-box. They will have one character doing the actual incursion and one character doing the dropper role. So do just ask. Just say, hey, do you need a dropper? And they will be more than happy to take you along and show you what to do. As Green Flame says, you can do it as an alpha player too. Yes, absolutely. Auric says 120 to 150 mil per hour in Vanguard Unifleets. Come do incursions. Yes. If you want to be making 120 to 150 mil per hour, just go along and do incursions. It is your way to print ISK in HiSec, okay? And EVE Uni incursions are very new player friendly. They're all designed to be new player friendly. They're designed so that people will explain what to do, what to shoot, everything like that. Ray, where can we sign for it, or will the EVE Uni knock on my door and enlist me voluntarily? So if you're interested in doing incursions, we have an incursions channel in our Discord. If you just post in there and say, hey, I'm interested in doing incursions, I haven't done one before, please help, they will help you out. We also have an incursions role. So if you go to Alliance Auth, you can opt into the incursions pings role. One of our incursion staff will give it to you, and then you will see pings when there are incursions running. So you'll know that there is an incursion going on. So we will not enlist you voluntarily, voluntarily, but you can absolutely come along as a brand new player and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, can you help me? And they always need more people running incursions, okay? Incursions is something where if you have a look at the incursions pings channel, quite a lot of time they say we're running an incursion, we're forming now, and then they say couldn't run, didn't have numbers. So they need more people. Please go and help them. Auric has kindly linked the in-game channel, which is Incursions EVE Uni, and also the fits. We have a wiki page with all of the fits that they use, so you can see how you are going to fit your ship for running EVE Uni incursions. Also important to note, they do have loaners. So they have loaners that you can borrow as a new player once you've trained the skills, and you can just go and join the incursion without having your own ship. And then if you like it, then you can look at getting your own ship. Kilroy, what's the Discord? I'm interested in getting into incursions. Okay, brilliant. That is, if someone could kindly link in Twitch chat the connecting to EVE Uni services as a guest. That is just, we ask people to go through Alliance Auth just so that we don't get bots in our Discord, basically, but it's a completely public Discord. Anyone can join. It's just you need to go through Alliance Auth and just connect to Discord, and then you'll be added. Lovely, thanks, Auric. And yeah, we always need more people doing incursions, so please do hop in and have a chat with us. Just to note, the EVE Uni Incursions group is open to current members of EVE University and also ex-members of EVE University. So if you want to do incursions with us, you would need to join EVE University. Doesn't have to be your main character. We accept, alts and all that kind of thing, but you'll need to have a character in EVE University. Also worth mentioning, there is another new player focused group, which is EVE Rookies. They also run incursions. They run incursions differently to EVE Uni. They have different fits. They have different ways of running things. They tend to accept lower skill point characters, I believe, than EVE University. But yeah, that's a public community that anybody can join. You don't need to be in you don't need to be in a corporation or anything to join EVE Rookies, but you do for EVE University. Yeah, good point. Auric says we also do incursion classes for beginners and advanced players to get familiar with the content and lore. So yeah, you can come along and learn about incursions with us. And then the final thing on incursions, they are nomadic. So the way that it works is an incursion will pop up in one place, that is called a focus. It will be in that place for a while, people will be running the incursion there, then it will end, and then it will pop up somewhere else in a completely different system. So a lot of Running incursions, if you're doing it regularly, becomes about moving your ships from focus to focus. So you'll also get really good at logistics during incursions because you'll be moving stuff from point A to point B. And again, they will help you with how to do that. Bowhead time, yes. A bowhead is a type of ship which you can put fitted ships into the cargo hold. So you can move ships in another ship using a bowhead. Verbena, is there a moving service? No, you're going to have to move your own stuff, but you can use loaners. Just don't be using loaners every single focus once you've got super experienced, because that's kind of taking the piss, but you can use loaners to get started. And then once you're into incursions, they will show you how to move your stuff in a bowhead and yeah, sort you out. Diablo, spy multiple ships, avoid having to move far. Yeah, people do that. Yeah, people have incursion stashes around the galaxy, particularly in places that are like high-sec islands. Quite a lot of people have their little incursion stack in high-sec islands just in case it spawns there. Okay, next let's talk about exploration. So what is exploration? Exploration is basically scanning down sites and hacking containers to get loot. So there's 4 different types. There's data and relic sites, which I've lumped in together because they're broadly the same thing, you just use slightly different equipment. There's wormholes, and there's also gas huffing, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide when we talk about mining and such. So exploration, you will need to be able to use the probe scanner. So using the probe scanner, you will find different stuff in space, different sites, and also anomalies, which you don't need to use the probe scanner for. So you will find these cosmic signatures all over space. It's going to teach you how to use your probe scanners, which is a skill in itself. And then you find stuff to do. Armatox, is this going to be a YouTube video? It's definitely going to be available on Twitch for 2 weeks. I'll see if I'm not sure if there's a current version of this one on YouTube. If there's not, then I'll put it on YouTube as well. So as you can probably imagine with exploration, so you can do exploration in all areas of space, including wormholes. And as you can probably imagine, the risk increases the lower the security status. So as you get into riskier space, the risk increases, but also the reward increases. So you get more ISK for hacking stuff in lower security areas than you do for higher security areas. So for relic and data sites, you will scan down your site, and then you will need to complete a hacking minigame. There's a picture of it on the slide. I think that's an old picture. I think they've changed the look of the hacking minigame since then, so we should probably update the slide. But yeah, there's just a hacking minigame to do, and if you're familiar with Minesweeper, it's kind of like that. It's kind of a little bit like Minesweeper. You just you need to get from point A to point B. Sometimes you're gonna come across enemies or things that damage you. Sometimes you will get to the core, which is where you need to go. Iuni is secretly the exploration career agent. Yes. Shh. So relic and data sites are often a common beginner path for new players. The thing to bear in mind with exploration, so doing data and relic sites, is it's not reliable income, but it can be very good income. So if you're doing data and relic sites, you'll probably get, your income will probably be something like first site, nothing, second site, couple of million ISK, third site, nothing, fourth site, 300 million ISK. Fifth site, nothing, sixth site, nothing, seventh site, nothing. So it's not a reliable source of income, but you can sometimes get very high income from doing particular sites. So yeah, you can make a lot of ISK, not necessarily a reliable ISK, but it can be a lot of ISK doing exploration. You just need to have the patience to stick with it, even when you're getting 0, 0, 0, 0. Just keep on going, and you will eventually hit lucky. Yeah, Verbena says right now it's awesome, 10 million per site in HiSec. Only Crocus says nullsec cans can easily drop 100 to 200 mil in a single can. So, yeah. Vinta, I need someone to stream me how to do any of that. Okay, that's a good suggestion. Thank you. We'll see if we can get someone maybe to... Oh, there we go. Easy. So Crocus says I can gladly do that later. Lovely. So yeah, with all of these things, if you're thinking that sounds interesting, but I'd like to see it in practice, just ask. Just ask, and someone will probably be like, yeah, I'm going to do that later. I'll stream it for you. So yeah, absolutely. That's the lovely thing about Eve Uni. Hey Kona, hey, welcome. Damn, my apologies for being late to the stream. No problem. But like my mum says, it's always better to come late than never. Hope everybody is learning a lot. Yes, absolutely. Always better to catch some of it. Captain Pillowfort, day 6 of being in Eve Uni, by the way. Oh, you joined. Wow. I wholly recommend it. Everyone is great. A metaphor, by the way, just in case you think, hey, we don't have a pillow in the cup. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. That's great. So as well as data and relic sites, there are combat sites. I didn't talk about combat sites earlier, did I? So combat sites, whoops. Combat sites are a type of exploration site that you can go to, and you can fight NPCs. So you can fight NPCs or pirates, rats, in combat sites, and combat sites can also escalate. So if you do them, they can escalate to a higher level site where you can get paid more. So that's called escalations. Okay, next let's talk about wormholes. So wormholes are a different area of space to the ones that I talked about after. So I talked about earlier high sec, low sec, and null sec, but what about wormholes? So a lot of new players get confused by the concept of wormholes because it is confusing. So wormholes are something that you can scan down. You can find them with your probe scanner, you can scan them down, you go to it, it's like a wibbly wobbly thing in space, and if you show info on it, it will say that it leads to unknown places. That is a wormhole. So a wormhole is kind of like a door. So you can think of wormholes like a door. So you can go through the door and you will end up in a different system. And that system on the other side, it could be a high sec system or a low sec system or a null sec system, or it could be a special type of system that can only be accessed using these wormhole doors. And we call that type of space, confusingly, wormhole space. So when you hear someone referring to a wormhole, they could be referring to the door, or they could be referring to the system behind the door that you can only get to using the wormhole door. So when people refer to wormhole, it depends on context. So the benefit of wormhole space, it has no security. So like with nullsec, has no space police, no gate guns. It also has no local. So if you're in wormhole space, you cannot normally see who is in local. So you cannot see, you know, oh, there's 5 people in local with me. The local will just show as empty. It won't even show you in local unless you talk in local. It shows people who've talked. So you don't know who's in the system with you. So it's kind of spooky, isn't it? Kind of spooky. You don't know who's spying on you. You don't know who is lurking. So yeah, you can do loads of stuff in wormhole space. You can do exploration, like we've just talked about. You can do particular combat sites against sleepers, which can pay a lot of ISK. That is doing wormhole sites. You can also do gas harvesting in wormholes. There's loads of different stuff you can do in wormholes, or you can just live in wormholes. A lot of people live in wormholes, which means they have put up a structure in a wormhole. They live in that wormhole, and they have these different wormhole doors that lead to different places. And what you can do is by jumping back and forth through the wormhole door, you can close it. So it's called rolling a wormhole. So you can roll the wormholes, close that door, and then if it's a are static, another one's going to appear. So yeah, you can basically choose what systems your little wormhole system that you live in is connected to. So it's spooky space. You don't know who's after you, but a lot of people make their home in wormholes and can make a lot of ISK and have a lot of fun in wormholes. So wormholes are a really good and fun thing to get into. Jet 2, number one rule of wormholes, there is always a cloaked Loki watching you. Yes. Akona, all the search engines picking up EveUni pages again. This is fantastic news. Yes, they're starting to repopulate. Haven't got all of them yet, but they're starting to feed through again. Google still hasn't replied to our ticket, by the way. We've had a ticket with them for like months. But yeah, whatever. At least they're fixing it. Auric, good community, non-toxic, supportive, and give me low fee stations to reprocess ore and produce stuff. Yeah, that's EveUni, absolutely. Vinter, I saw there are corps that live in wormholes. Yes, there are corporations who are based entirely in wormholes. We used to have a wormhole campus in Eve University. We no longer have a wormhole campus, but they still exist. They are now a separate corporation called Wormhole Campus, and you can go and join them. They accept people who want to learn about wormholes. So they're no longer in EveUni, but they continue to exist, and we have a lot of players that are in EveUni and also in Wormhole Campus, so we have a good relationship with them still. Yannick, there is currently a wormhole in Korsiki for those who want to try. Well, there we go. If you're in Korsiki at the moment, there is a wormhole. Go and poke it. Go and poke it. Disclaimer, take no responsibility if you poke it and die. You might have fun. Totally want to poke the locals, yeah. Did I ask the AI guy at FanFest? No, I never actually spoke to the AI guy at FanFest. I did see that he applied. Well, he said that he applied to EveUni, but I don't know who he is. So he might be in this class. Who knows? We might have a Google AI guy in this class. But yeah, no, I didn't speak to him. Okay, so if you're interested in getting into exploration in Eve University, we have some resources available. We have chat channels for exploration, chat channels for wormholes. We also have free herons on the flight deck. So a heron is a ship which is ideal for exploration, and it's also pretty cheap. So you can take our free herons. We have free fitted herons on contract for members of EveUni. So you can grab a exploration heron, go out and do some exploration. If you lose it, doesn't matter. Just come back and grab another one. Super easy. So yeah, free fitted herons for uni members. Good point. So John Epop says you can also live in a wormhole and don't put up a structure. Yes, you can. So you can live in wormholes without structures entirely, or you can. There are various wormholes in the game that have what are called free ports, which means that anybody can dock in it. So you can go and live in one of the free ports. There is a group called Wormlife. They have a load of free ports across wormhole space, and you can go and live in them. Or you can just not live in a structure at all. So yeah, go and check out wormholes. They are super fun. Gilroy, did I hear you mention you need to join EveUni Corp? I just joined the Discord. So, you don't need to join the Corp. Our Discord is public. Anyone can join, anyone can ask questions, anyone can go to classes. However, if you do want to join the Eve University Corp, then you are more than welcome. We accept alts, we accept brand new players, we accept experienced players. There's just a little form for you to fill in, and we'll send you an invite. So if someone wouldn't mind posting in Discord just the Join EveUni wiki page, then yeah, we accept everyone. As long as you have a Pulse and an Eve account, then you can join EveUni. Spinoza, the heron was the first chip I lost to involuntary PvP in Eve in a wormhole. Yeah, familiar. Captain Pillowfort, there is Thera too if you can find it. Yes, so Thera is a really big wormhole system. It's a massive wormhole system. I think it's the biggest system in the game. It's huge, and it has loads of wormholes. So it has wormholes linking to loads of different areas of space. So you, the good thing about Thera is you can kind of use it like fast travel. You can use it going from point A to point B, going through Thera. So Thera is awesome. It's my favourite system in the game. I love it. There is a corporation called Eve Scout, which bookmarks the Thera wormholes, so you can find out how to get into it and where the various exits leave. Thera is awesome, and yeah, it's really good. Eunice says Chlorocan has a nice series on nomad lifestyle in Wormhole. He explains a lot too. Love those vids. Turner is also nice. Yeah, absolutely. Is someone able to post in Twitch chat the Join Eve Uni link? It's just on the Discord. If someone wouldn't mind, that'd be really useful. Yeah, Auric has linked to the Eve Scout. That's always really helpful to be able to see what is connected to Thera. Yeah, Crocus says the application form doesn't even ask if you're a spy. No, we welcome spies. Lovely, thanks guys for posting the Join Eve Uni link. Okay, let's move on to mining. Let's talk about mining, my favourite subject. Yeah. So, mining. So this slide was initially called resource harvesting because that's what Eve calls it. However, I don't like the name resource harvesting. I think it's too vague. So I just call it mining. So basically what I mean by mining is all types of extracting raw materials. Okay, it's all types of extracting raw materials. So the most basic form is mining. So you find an ore belt, you activate your mining laser on it, ore goes into your cargo hold, and you then have ore. Super easy. Super easy. So yeah. So that is mining. Basically, the most basic type of mining is mining an ore belt. So you go to an asteroid belt in the system, shoot it with your mining laser, and get some ore. But there's also ice mining. So ice mining is kind of like ore mining, but you need to use different equipment to use it. And it works very slightly differently in that you need to, first of all, you need to find the ice sites, which you can find in the agency window. And also you need to complete the entire cycle before the ice goes into your cargo hold. So you can't just like partially cycle your lasers like you can with ore. But ice can be very profitable. So ice can be a really good way to earn ISK. Also, just bear in mind that because ice can be more profitable, sometimes people like to get a little bit sensitive about people mining their ice belts, and they say I'll gank you if you mine here. So just be careful. Sometimes people like to be a bit weird about their ice belts, but you can absolutely do ice mining and ore mining in Eve Uni and get lots of lovely ISK. So for the benefit of the Twitch chat, Sol Hoth says, would you recommend going straight for low null wormhole exploration in a flight deck Heron, or is practice in high sec recommended? And Auric says, maybe practice the basic mechanics of how to probe, so how to find the sites. As long as you get the hang of the probing in the mini game, just go to null with a filament, and then you can make lots of ISK doing that. Lovely, thanks for coming, Ray. Appreciate you coming along. Auric, when talking about ice mining, this is a good point. Don't mine ice in Osmon. There is a guy in Osmon who likes to shoot people mining what he sees as his ice belts. So if you mine ice in Osmon, he's probably going to kill you. Kind of not cool, but whatevs. There's loads of other places to mine ice where people will not just destroy you. Yeah, DPI says seeing that ice belts spawn periodically in the same systems, those frequently attract gankers. Yeah. So the ice belts, they spawn every now and then, but they're in the same system. So you have people who hang out in those systems to gank ice miners. But also beyond ore mining and ice mining, there is also moon mining. So moon mining is, so I was joking when I said that mining is my favorite thing in EVE because I hate mining, but moon mining is legit cool. Like the graphics that they put in when they introduced moon mining to the game are genuinely cool. So the idea of moon mining is you have a structure which you put next to one of the moons. You use this structure to blast a piece off of the moon, pull it away from the moon, and then blow it up with a massive laser into a player-generated mining belt. And that sounds really cool and it looks really cool. So do go along to a moon mining even just to see the really cool effects. So it's like a timed mining belt that people can say, okay, right, we're going to have a mining belt on this day, and they time it for the structure to explode the moon and create a moon mining belt on that particular time. So that is moon mining. And Captain Fort, do you need a fancy ship and fit to moon mine? No. Moon mining, you use exactly the same ship as you would for ore mining. So it's exactly the same. If you're using T2 mining lasers, you will need different crystals for moon mining ore. But if you're just using T1, you don't need crystals. You can just use exactly the same ship. Yeah, so one of the best things about mining is it's a social thing. So as Ruin has put it really well, so mining is all about hanging out with cool people and making ISK while doing next to nothing. Yes, that is what mining is about, okay? The best way to mine is in a fleet of people, because there are ships that can make you mine more efficiently by sending you out boosts. So they can make your lasers work better, they can mean that your lasers can reach out to further. These ships can also compress your ore, or allow you to compress your ore. So, like Jet2 says, downside to moon mining without ore compression, that ore is thick with extra Cs. Yes, so moon ore is very bulky. But if you are mining with an Orca on grid, they give you the ability to compress your moon ore. So you can compress it down, make it smaller so that you can mine more. So mining is okay solo. It's much better in a group, both because it's a social activity and that's kind of cool in a social game. You get to hang out and chat to people and all of that kind of thing. But also you can mine far more efficiently in a group than you can individually. Yeah, Crocus says generally an Orca is available at uni events. So if you're going along to one of our moon mining fleets, which you can see in the calendar, and also using the mining fleets, sorry, the mining pings. And also there is a channel in our Discord which posts all of the upcoming mining fleets for members. So yeah, you can go along to those and they will generally have an Orca available. So they'll generally be giving boosts and compression. Gyna says, can EVE Uni build a Mackinaw or do I have to get it from the market? Yes, so we can sell you. We can sell you mining ships. We have a program whereby you can buy a mining barge. You can buy up to 5 mining barges from EVE University for 50% of what it would normally cost you buying them from the market. You can also buy other mining ships for what you would pay for them in Jita. So you can also buy other mining ships from us, but the barges, your first 5 barges that you buy from us are 50% off. So the other type of mining that is suitable for new players is gas harvesting. So gas harvesting is you go to a gas cloud, you use a mining ship with a particular type of a type of fitting which allows you to harvest gas. And you just basically sit in the gas cloud and harvest this gas, just keep on harvesting the gas, and then you can go ahead and sell it or use it. And gas is used for industry, it's used to make stuff, and it can be pretty high value. So you can get quite a lot of ISK from mining gas, from harvesting gas rather. We have a LOSEC community, which is based in Isbabata, and they do lots of gas harvesting. So if you're interested in gas harvesting, probably the best place to head to will be the LOSEC community. And you can go ahead and go and mine some gas with them. It's higher risk, of course, because it's LOSEC, but it's also higher value. Captain Pillowfort, you can gas mine in wormholes too. Yeah, absolutely. So you can also get gas from wormholes. Exilus TV is subscribed. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Verbena, does this program also extend to the new destroyers? So the new destroyers are pioneers and they're available on the flight deck. So you can get a free flight deck pioneers and free flight deck ventures. And then the next step up is the mining barge, which is the one you can get half price. Draco says, yes, the wormhole gas is best gas. Love it. So yeah, if you like to do gas, if you like to mine gas, so do gas really, should I? If you like to mine gas, then at wormholes you can make a lot of ISK with wormhole gas. And also it's the kind of thing that people day trip. So they'll find a wormhole, they'll go in, they'll mine some gas, and then they'll leave. So it's the kind of stuff people can do in wormholes without having to live in them. Yeah, absolutely. So do be careful because there are rats in gas sites that will kill you. So you do need to be careful. You do need to be careful. You may get ganked doing gas huffing. So it's higher risk, but it's higher reward. Cap Dallas, is there a trick to finding gas clouds? I've been trying for a couple of days now in random locations, but cannot find anyone scanning. It's the luck of the draw, to be honest. It's the luck of the draw. If you ask in the LOSEC community channel, then they will be able to give you tips on how to find gas clouds, where to look for them, and that kind of thing. That's a good point. Tainted says high chance straight after downtime in HiSec. So that's a good tip for you. So yeah, if you are able to play straight after downtime, you can often find gas clouds in HiSec, apparently. DPI, you always need to be careful in Eve. Yeah, absolutely. It is Eve after all. Yannick says there is a gas site in the Korsiki wormhole. Back to the Korsiki wormhole. There we go, guys. If you're in Korsiki, there is a wormhole, and inside the wormhole there is apparently a gas site. So be careful, but yeah, go and get your gas. Someone poked the wormhole. Yes. Auric for +3 implant program. Who do we contact? Yes, it's still Nex team. Yeah. So if in doubt, ping Nex. Okay, so how we can support you with mining. So we have mining channels in our Discord. Hey Elgato, hey, welcome. So we have mining channels in our Discord. We have one for mining, we have one for LSC General, which is where we do a lot of gas mining. We have free ventures and pioneers on the flight deck, so you can grab a free fitted mining ship and go ahead and get started with mining. We have lots of moon mining fleets. We have multiple moon mining fleets a week, which have full Orca support, so you can go along and mine efficiently with friends. We have half-price mining barges that I talked about, so you can buy mining barges for half price from Eve Uni. And we also have our low-sec community where they do a lot of gas mining. I am indeed a renowned miner. I am Eve renowned for being the bestest miner. Yuna, what do I need to clear the wormhole rats? I would love to keep huffing those wormhole gases, but I'm not sure if my main could destroy them. If you're asking our wormholes channel, they should be able to give you some more information about the kind of ship to use and that kind of thing. But a lot of doing stuff in wormholes is about running away, quite frankly. So sometimes the answer is just mine for a little bit and then leave. But yeah, if you ask in the wormholes channel, they should be able to sort you out. Okay, let's next talk about my next favourite subject, which is industry. So industry is making stuff, turning materials into products. And the two main things I'm going to cover are planetary industry and manufacturing. So planetary industry, first of all. So planetary industry, it's kind of like mining in that you are extracting raw materials, this time from a planet. So, you know, when you're in space and you see all these planets around, you can actually use them to get raw materials by planetary industry. So the way it works, you go into your planetary industry window. You can go and put a base on the planet, which can then enable you to extract ore from the planet. And it's kind of like making factories. So you make, you have a little factory on your planet that extracts the stuff, that moves it to different places. Sometimes it combines it with other stuff to make it into higher level materials, and then you extract it from the planet. So the way that planetary industry kind of works, it's kind of a semi-passive way of earning ISK. So you set up your planet, you get it all set up so that it's running, and then you go back and check on it and get the raw materials on a regular basis, like, I don't know, like once a week or whenever, however you set it to. Hey, Hrafnar, welcome. So yeah, it's kind of semi-passive. You just kind of set it up and then, yeah, you can just go and collect your stuff every now and then. So you can have multiple planets, and you can also have each of your characters on your account can also have multiple planets. So people often set whole accounts up with lots and lots of planets, and then they just rotate around their characters. They go and get their stuff on each of the characters, and yeah, and then get their stuff. And you can do planetary industry in high sec, low sec, and null sec, and wormholes as well. So you can do it in any area of space. Generally, the lower security status, the higher profit you get from the stuff that you're making on the planets. Verbena says, do we have Eve Uni planets where we can set up? No, because you can use any planet. You don't like claim planets like you do with moon mining. For moon mining, someone has a structure on that particular moon, but for planets, you don't have that. So you can use any planet. You can go deep into enemy territory and use their planet to extract PI if you want. It's just you're going to have a pain in the ass getting your stuff. But yeah, you can use any planet. You have customs offices on planets and they can charge a tax. So if you are using the customs offices to extract stuff, bear in mind the amount of tax that you're paying. You're probably going to want to make sure that you're using something that is more efficient. Idris, a whole account for PI. What sort of nerd would do that? Stop looking at me like that. Don't judge my alts. Yes. No judgment here. No judgment. Oryx still does PI in the old nullsec campus. Yeah. So you can do PI anywhere, man. Anywhere you want to do PI, you can do it. Just bear in mind that you're going to need to go and get your stuff. So it's ideal that if it's somewhere that you are going to be around or that you can go to be able to get your stuff regularly. So then we have manufacturing. And manufacturing is creating items from blueprints and raw materials. So you take a blueprint, you take the raw materials, you feed it into the manufacturing UI, and then you wait. And then it will, after a certain amount of time, it will poop out your stuff. Your stuff will, you'll be able to collect your stuff again, deliver your job. So you can install jobs in stations or structures. You just need a blueprint and the raw materials. And it's worth noting that if you're in Eve University, we have an extensive blueprint library in Corsiki. So if you want to manufacture stuff in Corsiki, we have a structure which has a blueprint library. And in the blueprint library, there are original copies of loads of different blueprints. Not everything, but pretty much everything you might want to make as a new player. And the way that it works, there is a page on the wiki that explains exactly how to copy blueprints from the library. Basically, you copy a blueprint from an original to make a blueprint copy, and then you use that blueprint copy to make something. So you can use our blueprint library. Please do. Please make use of it. And use it to make stuff. One thing to bear in mind for new players doing manufacturing, it is very easy to lose a lot of ISK doing manufacturing, okay? There are a lot of things that by the time you've taken the blueprint and the raw materials, the item that you get at the end is worth less because of the taxes, the bulk in which some people make it. So just be careful, just look at your margins. It's very much a margin game. Don't be making 1,000 of one particular thing and then find out that you're losing ISK on every single thing. So yeah, look at the margins, see how much ISK you're going to make producing stuff. It's very easy to lose a lot of ISK doing manufacturing as a new player. But it's also, once you have got the hang of it, it's also a good way to make a lot of ISK. A lot of people who have multi-billions have done it through manufacturing and selling stuff. So yeah, it's a good way to make a lot of money, but it's also a good way to lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. Very loosey to ease a lot of ISK, absolutely. So you can also research blueprints, which will make them better. So you can research blueprints, which will mean that they require less materials to make stuff, or that they take less time to manufacture something. So you can research blueprints to make them better. You can also do invention, which is creating T2 blueprint copies, which are more complex, higher value, not ideally suited to new players. Invention, but just know that that is a thing that exists, that you can create T2 blueprint copies. Yuna, I heard ammo is quite safe as a start point for industry. Is that true? Yeah, it can be. So Verbena says T2 yes, T1 is a waste of money since they drop. Ammo can be a good starting point. A lot of people start with ammo because they then use their own ammo. So it's like a starting point of I want to do industry, but I also want to shoot stuff. So I'll make ammo and then I will shoot stuff with the ammo that I've made. So you're it's worth bearing in mind your time is not free. But if you're using it, if you're making stuff for your own use, it's probably not going to matter so much about the margins as if you're making stuff to sell. So a lot of people start with ammo because then they know they can use the ammo. Ulrich has said, use industry calculators, and has linked to Eve Tycoon. Yes, so there are calculators where you can work out what is efficient to make and sell. Okay, so that is industry and planetary industry. We have an industry channel in our Discord as well if you want to ask about industry questions. Next, trading and hauling. So space commerce and space trucking. So trading, first of all. So there's various different types of trading. Trading is just selling stuff, buying and selling stuff. There's various different types of trading that you can do in Eve. One basic form is station trading. So you find a station in which you can buy something for low and you can sell it for high in the same station. Buy low, sell high, you make profit. Super easy. So that's station trading. Basically, it's just margin play, just playing with the margins, finding that particular item that has a good turnover of people buying it and also has people selling it for less than they can buy it for. So yeah, so station trading, buying and selling, I hate it. I am with Pirates Go Arr, boo station trading, boo. I hate it myself. It's a lot of babysitting your trades. So you're sitting there and moving your trades down by one ISK. That kind of thing. But you can make a lot of money doing station trading. If you get into it, if you buy the right stuff, you can make a lot of money doing station trading. You can also, again, you can also lose a lot of money doing station trading by doing it wrongly. Then there is also cross-regional trading, which is basically you buy stuff in one region, you move it to another region, and you sell it there. So that it also involves hauling. So it also involves moving stuff. So if you can find an item which is being sold for a low price in Amarr, let's say, and a high price and being bought for a high price in Jita, you can buy it in Amarr, you can move it to Jita, and you can sell it there. Perfect. You can get blown up in Amazon on the way. But yeah, generally you can move stuff from one place to another place and sell it for more. Again, it's very much about margins. You're selling where the demand is higher, and it's possible that you'll lose a lot of ISK, but not if you're very careful. Auric, trading equals don't fly ship ever, but you're a gazillionaire. Yes. If any of you guys follow Oz and the Oz report, Oz makes a lot of money through trading. Buying and selling, Oz is like a walking trading encyclopedia. So if you're interested in trading, definitely follow the Oz report because he will tell you how to make money doing trading. There's also another type of trading is speculation. So sometimes people buy stuff thinking, okay, I'm going to pay this price for it now, but I'm expecting that price is going to go up in future. So when it goes up, I'm going to sell it for more. So again, there is a lot of risk involved in this because you could buy a load of stuff, the price never goes up, and then you're just sat on it, or maybe you've lost ISK because the price has gone down. So, but again, you can make a lot of money with speculation, and a lot of people do make a lot of money with just speculation trading, just buying stuff that they think is gonna go up. So yeah, speculation trading is another thing. Very risky for new players. You can lose a lot of ISK, but you can also make a lot of ISK for it. Auric, Eve loves insider trading. Yeah. If there's a war, you know the old like the Ferengi rules of acquisition. War is good for business. Peace is good for business. Yeah, that is. If you're trading in Eve, you're basically a Ferengi. When there is war going on, war can be very good for business because a lot of stuff goes up significantly in value because the big corporations are buying a load of stuff to fire at each other. So war makes a lot of people a lot of money. Vexor file sale was fun, yes. Auric says, I recently made a killing on selling drones. Yes. So Baron, I made fat stacks on speculative trading, lost all on speculative trading. 10 out of 10 will financially ruin myself again. Yes. Babena, hey, I have 10 million liquid ISK. Where can I start? Probably not with trading, I would suggest. I would suggest building up a bit more of a kitty behind you, because then you can invest at larger scales, which is going to be much better. It's going to be a real struggle starting with 10 million ISK. So maybe start with 100 million ISK, a billion ISK. make money doing something else first and then invest it in trading to increase it significantly. No trading for me, but no trading for me yet. What you want to do is do something else that we talked about. So try doing home fronts or incursions or mining, something like that. Make more ISK and then use that as your kitty for starting trading. Rune Demon, I heard 10 bill was too small and I panicked. I mean, some people might say that. Some people might say, oh, you're just using 10 billion ISK to start trading. What are you thinking? But yeah, it depends, doesn't it? Obviously, you're going to make more ISK the more ISK you're putting in. So yeah. I mean, the ISK does double for some of the involved people, yes. Heard many pilots run ISK doubling services. Yeah. Yes, be careful, guys. If someone's promising to double your ISK, they're lying. Or they will do it the first time and then you set to get them to get you to send more ISK. Okay, next, hauling. So hauling is moving stuff from point A to point B. So the most basic form of hauling, I guess, is moving your own shit. Moving stuff from that you need from point A to point B where you need it. Easy. Oh, Tal. Hi, Tal. Tal Trayson says 5 bill is good for starting trading. 10 bill is better. Absolutely. So hauling, moving stuff from point A to point B in a hauling ship. Most basic form, moving stuff for yourself. Then you have distribution missions that we talked about earlier. Distribution missions pay relatively low ISK, but they can be fairly beginner friendly. And as people said earlier, you can make loyalty points by doing the dailies with them. But if you want to get seriously into hauling, you probably want to start looking at courier contracts and hauling corps. So courier contracts are someone wants stuff moved from point A to point B and they're willing to pay someone to do it. So they will set up a contract in game and say, I want it going from point A, going to point B, and I will pay you this much money. I also want you to pay me collateral. So I want you to give me collateral in case you run away with my stuff. So because courier contracts are open to everyone, because there is a collateral system, courier contracts are rife for scamming. So not every courier contract is going to be a scam, a lot of them are. And there's so many ways that people scam people using courier contracts. They can set up a way higher collateral than what their stuff is worth. They can make you go through a certain system, hauling their stuff, and then destroy you in that system. They can make you go to a structure that you cannot access or revoke your access to a structure so they can kill you. Various types of ways that people can scam you doing courier contracts, so do be careful. If you have any questions, we have a hauling channel in our Discord. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you can ask in our Discord, we will be able to help you out and hopefully be able to spot when stuff is a scam. We also have hauling corporations. So there's entire corporations whose purpose is to haul stuff from point A to point B. And the two most popular ones are PushX and Red Frog. So the way that these hauling corps work, they're literally professional logistics. So you go to their website or their Discord, you say, I want to move stuff from point A to point B. They tend to have calculators. You can put in where you want to move stuff, how much stuff you want to be moved. They'll tell you how much it costs. And then you do a contract to that corporation, and one of their many haulers will move it to where you want to be. So if you're interested in hauling as a career, probably the best way to get into hauling, or the best way to do hauling for ISK, is through one of these hauling corporations. Put a character in Red Frog, put a character in PushX, and move stuff and get paid for moving stuff. So you get paid for moving stuff, and obviously the hauling corp does take a cut, but for that cut you also get things like insurance and stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably the best way of making ISK hauling professionally is hauling for a hauling corp like PushX or Red Frog. Just a reminder for if you are hauling stuff, please do not autopilot. The autopilot is not to be used apart from in certain circumstances. So there's some times where you will use more, autopilot, like for example, if you are wanting to insta-dock in a station, you can use autopilot for that. But do not just put all your stuff in a hauling ship, set your autopilot, and then go away. Because using going away from your screen. Because using autopilot, your ship doesn't warp from gate to gate. It warps to 15k away from the gate, and then it slowly approaches the gate and jumps through. So, and it does this for every gate. So it's kind of like we're holding up a big neon sign to say, I'm AFK, please shoot me. Because it's really obvious to everyone that you're not at your keyboard because you're autopiloting. So please do not autopilot when hauling stuff. Also, please be careful about the amount of cargo that you're hauling. So people can scan your cargo, they can see what you're hauling, they can see how much value you're hauling, and if it's worth it, they will kill you to take the stuff that you're hauling. So don't haul stuff that is too expensive for the ship that you're flying, or that is too expensive in total. So don't haul anything you can't afford to lose, even for someone else, and just be careful about how much you're putting compared to the value of your ship and the tankiness of your ship. If you're at all unsure, then please ask. Please ask. We have lots of people in EVE Uni that do hauling as a career, that do hauling for PushX, for Red Frog. Crocus does, I believe. Amphion does. They can answer all of your questions about hauling. So yeah, you can ask them. And so Crocus hauls for himself, but not for another corp. Amphion definitely does haul for PushX. So if you have any questions about hauling corps, career contracts, anything like that, then do ask. Yeah, essentially same shit in blue, yes. Okay, and finally, the last thing that I want to talk about is PvP combat. So this is fighting other players. Some extremely judgmental people will say this is what EVE is all about, and everything else is about getting ISK to be able to afford to do PvP. I wouldn't go that far, but I do like PvP. PvP is probably the main thing that I do in EVE. So, fighting other players, yeah. So, the ways that you can fight other players as a new player, one way is faction warfare. So faction warfare is you sign up for a particular faction. You can sign up for any of the main factions. So you can sign up for Amarr, Minmatar, Gallente, Caldari. Also the pirate factions now, you can sign up for them as well. And you can go and do activities for them. At the moment, these are only, plexes and certain plexes and certain other types of faction warfare, but there's a patch coming up soon which is going to enable you to do other stuff for factions as well, so keep an eye out for that. Diablo's got back to some time for PvP, yes. Tal, can EVE Uni even PvP anymore? I heard you lost all your PvPers. Rude. We definitely PvP. We do lots of PvP, yes. We have multiple PvP fleets a week. So faction warfare is all about doing plexes. So you are capturing complexes and you are defending complexes. And by doing that, you are earning loyalty points. You are earning loyalty points with the factions that you can then convert into ISK. So you are capturing and defending sites for ISK. Now, this is an accessible entry point for PvP because the way that the plexes work, you can choose you can choose by what type of plex you go into. You can choose who your opponent's going to be in that plex. So for example, if you are just in a frigate, you can go to a scout plex and only frigates will be in the only frigates will be in the plex. So you're limiting the type of opponent you're going to be fighting to a particular type of ship. So faction warfare, for that reason, is pretty accessible for new players. Pretty accessible. So you can choose what you're going to fight. For EVE University, you can join any faction. We are happy for you to join any of the main factions or pirate factions. You can join any of them while you're a member of EVE University. Just bear in mind that our rules of engagement still apply, so you cannot shoot other uni members, even if they're in the opposing faction. So yeah, you can't shoot uni members. We did trial it, having uni members be able to shoot each other if they were doing faction warfare. It didn't work too well. It caused more problems than it solved, so we reverted back to you can't shoot uni members. So faction warfare is kind of PvE, kind of PvP. You're shooting NPCs, you're shooting players, players are shooting you, all of that kind of thing. So it's a good accessible way to get into PvP, and we do a lot of faction warfare down in our low-sec community in Israbata. So if you go along to Israbata and say, hey, I have never done PvP before, can you help me get into faction warfare? They will say yes. They will help you get into PvP, teach you how faction warfare works, tell you what ships to use, all of that kind of thing. So we have a flight deck in Israbata where you can grab free fitted PvP frigates to go ahead and start doing PvP. Also, PvP fleets. We do lots and lots of PvP fleets. We like to shoot other people in the face. We very much enjoy shooting other people in the face. We have lots of organised PvP roams. If you're a member of EVE University, if you go to the events, the very top of the Discord, you'll see all of the planned PvP fleets that we have coming up. So you can see all of the upcoming PvP fleets that we have. There's also a ping PvP that you can opt into so that you can see when there are PvP fleets going out. Yeah, people in Discord are talking about Diablos's Blops fleet yesterday, where we killed, I think, just over 1 billion ISK. We had a lot of players who had never been on a Blops fleet before, so they were the first time flying stealth bombers, and we went out and did some Blops and dropped on some people. It was a little bit quiet yesterday, but we did kill over 1 billion ISK and introduced a lot of new players to Blops. Hoping we're going to have some more Blops fleets coming up, because I love Blops fleets. They're one of my favourite types of fleets. Yeah. So lots of PvP fleets. Bear in mind that you are going to lose ships, okay? Going on PvP fleets, you are going to lose ships. That is just expected. But explosions are the most beautiful thing in EVE. They're beautiful. You can be a beautiful explosion. Worst case scenario is beautiful. And we also have our ship replacement program, which means that if you are going on an EVE University PvP fleet and you lose your ship, we will pay you ISK for losing your ship in PvP combat. So we will give you some ISK so that you can grab another ship and go and blow that up as well. So yeah, you will not necessarily lose ISK doing PvP with EVE Uni, because we will pay you for losing your ship. Davey, or getting shot in the face if you're lucky as myself with my first 2 fleets. Then again, 2 fleets is not exactly a large sample size, yes. You too can be a beautiful explosion. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, you're going to lose ships. The first few fleets, you're going to lose ships. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Nobody cares in EVE Uni. We don't care about kill boards and stuff like that. We just care about you having fun and learning. So yeah. If you are interested in doing PvP fleets, we have first few. Yeah, that was a bit of a slip of the tongue out there. I said you will lose ships in your first few PvP fleets. You will lose ships constantly in PvP. It's part of the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But we can support you by the ship replacement program I talked about earlier, the free PvP frigates on the flight deck. You can take the free fitted frigates and go ahead and do some PvP with a free ship. We have our low sec community where you can do low sec PvP. They have lots of PvP roams, lots of PvP fleets, lots of faction warfare. There's loads of PvP going on in the low sec community, so just go ahead and join. Just say, hey, I'm new, and they will help you out. Aha, Shiva says, oh, hello right there. I'm a player looking to get into EVE on or around June 10th after the new player experience drops. My friends have been telling me to get into this game and have thrown the name of EVE Uni around. Awesome to see you guys have a live. Hey, welcome. I hope you're going to love EVE. After the 10th of June, fingers crossed, you'll be one of the first players to try out the new area of space, which is Exordium. So I've had a poke around it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. So you have to let us know how it is. And yeah, join EVE Uni. We are always happy to have new players come and join us and learn about the game. The idea is basically you join EVE Uni, you learn some stuff, you find out what you want to do, and then you go and do that thing. It's like we don't expect you to be in EVE Uni forever. Most people are not in EVE Uni forever. They just come along, join, and learn stuff, and then they go off and do that stuff somewhere else. So yeah, we're always happy for new players to come and join us. We're not intended to be the whole game, just the starting part of the game. We teach you the basics, and then you go off and do that somewhere else. Yeah, glad to hear there are new players joining too. I thought the game was mainly game vets. Yeah, a lot of people have that impression. I think because EVE is such an old game, people are like, wow, EVE's been around for like 25 years, so everybody must have been playing for 25 years. That's definitely not the case. We have so many new players in EVE Uni. We have like 10 to 20 new players a day joining EVE Uni. So we definitely have lots of new players here. So yeah, you will not be the only one who's getting caught up. So I run a introduction to PvP fleets class every other Monday. So every other Monday, I do introduction to PvP fleets. You do not have to have been in this class to go on a PvP fleet. However, if you're a little bit nervous, if you've never done PvP before, if you think you're going to be lost in a PvP fleet, come along to my Intro to PvP Fleets class. It's public, anyone can come along, and I will teach you all of the terminology that you need to know, and we will practice making some beautiful explosions by blowing up a willing target at the end. So do come along and check out Intro to PvP Fleets. Spanky also runs it. Spanky runs Intro to PvP Fleets pretty regularly, so do feel free to come along to one of those classes. Vinter has corrected me, sorry. EVE started in 2003, so not quite 25 years. We're a couple of years off the 25 years. Do you know what? EVE 25 years is going to be a big party at FanFest, isn't it? Those people who are thinking about going to FanFest, 2028 FanFest is going to be lit. It's going to be 25 years of EVE. So, yeah. So also another thing that I want to talk about, because it's one of my favourite aspects of the game, is NPSI fleets. So NPSI stands for Not Purple Shoot It. Not Purple Shoot It. And Not Purple Shoot It, they are public fleets that anyone can go on. Doesn't matter what corporation they're in, what alliance, who their friends are, they can come along to these public PvP fleets. And for the duration of the fleet, everybody who's in the fleet is purple, and they will go out to shoot anyone who's not purple. So if you are purple, you are friend. If you are not purple, you are not friend, and we will go and shoot you. So NPSI fleets are open to everyone. They are super fun. I love them. They are so good. Spinioza says, NPSI got me on some tasty kill mails. Love Kiakti and his roams. Yes, Kiakti is with Fun Inc. and does shrink wrapped roams. As Diablo says, Shrink Wrapped 450 is this Thursday. That is the 450th Shrink Wrapped fleet. So you can go along and join Shrink Wrapped, which is speedy ships. It's interceptors. You go super fast, super experienced FC, super experienced scouts. They're just so fun. I love MPSI fleets. And as Verbena says, do I have to mind my own engagement rules? Yes. So if you're in EVE University, you can go on MPSI fleets. I would encourage you to go on MPSI fleets, but you still need to follow our rules of engagement. So please don't shoot uni members, please don't shoot blues. Aside from that, shoot anyone you want. You can use deniable alts to go on MPSI fleets, but you can also just go on them on your uni character. I tend to go on them with my uni character, and I go on a lot of MPSI fleets, and I've run into blues twice and uni members twice, and I just didn't shoot them, and that was it. But I go on like loads and loads of MPSI fleets, so it's really rare for you to run into blues or uni members. Just don't shoot them. We don't have many blues. No, our blues are basically alts of uni members and like I think Push X, Red Frog, Signal Cartel. Not that many. I am a PvP addict, yes. Auric says Bomber's Bar for some nice hot drops. Yes, if you want to do bombing fleets, so if you want to fly stealth bombers, as well as Diablos, now running Blops fleets in EVE Uni, we have Bomber's Bar, who run constant bombing fleets. You can go on so many bombing fleets with Bomber's Bar, and they drop some nice ships. They land on some very expensive ships and blow them up, and your kill board will look amazing if you're doing Bomber's Bar fleets, I tell you that. So Bomber's Bar fleets are super fun. There's also Vex Drake has started up a new MPSI community, which I have not been on any of his fleets yet. He used to fly with Spectre Fleet, and I always loved his fleets, but his community is now called Unaligned MPSI, and please do check it out if you can, because Vex is an awesome MPSI FC, and he will take you to shoot some fantastic stuff. So check out Kiakti, he's a great FC. Check out Bomber's Bar. Check out Unaligned MPSI, which is Vex Drake. Check out Spectre Fleet. Yeah, go ahead and check out these MPSI fleets. Diablo says, I've been on a uni fleet where our confused scout walked to someone and it was a unista doing Explo, and there was lots of disappointment we didn't have much to shoot. Yeah. Rip. Red Frog is blue, yeah. Red Frog is blue, Push X is blue, Signal Cartel is blue, and some uni members are blue, basically. So yeah. Don't have many blues. Sheba, thanks for coming, man. Hope you enjoy EVE when you get started. Look us up once you start after the 10th of June. Look us up. Okay, finally on PvP combat. So we have an FC development group. If you have always dreamed about being the fleet commander, if you want to be the person who's given the instructions, telling people where to go, what to shoot, all of that kind of thing, then we have an FC development group where you can learn how to be a fleet commander. You can learn how to get better at commanding fleets with our FC development group. So we have lots of fleet commanders, they're all learning from each other. Diablos in chat, he is an excellent fleet commander. We have loads of new fleet commanders at the moment, which I love to see. We have people running fleets in Australian time zone. Was it yesterday? Or was it today? We had 2 fleets in Australian time zone. What? Amazing. Love it. So we've got loads of new fleet commanders coming up the ranks at the moment, getting better and taking out some really exciting fleets. So yeah, please support our new FCs. Okay, now all of this stuff that we talked about, you're going to need skills for. You're going to need skills to get into all of this stuff. And we have corporation skill plans. So if you're in EVE Uni, if you go to skills, your skills window, go to skill plans, go to corporation plans, we have skill plans for loads of different things. So we have skill plans for mining, for exploration, for PI, for various types of PvP. for abyssals, for so many different types of things. So if you want to do any of the things that we talked about before, we probably have a skill plan for that. Look it up in skills, skill plans, corporation plans. Hello, Dark Ivan. Welcome. You are just joining us right at the end of the class, but thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here anyway. We're talking about Introduction to Careers. I will put a recording of this class. Well, Twitch records it automatically, so it'll be on Twitch. And if it's not already on YouTube, I'll put it on YouTube. So if you want to go back and listen to what we talked about earlier, then you can always look at the video. And then finally, I will leave you with some words of wisdom. So try a bit of everything, okay? The aim of this is not for you to find one career that you enjoy and only do that. Most people playing Eve do more than one thing. They do more than one activity regularly. They might do a bit of PvP, but then to make ISK to do PvP, they might do incursions, or they might do missions, or mining, or they might not do PvP, they just do they just like to do abyssals, but they also like to do home fronts. Most people do more than one activity, so you don't need to find just one thing that you want to do. And also bear in mind that your interests are going to change over time. Stuff that you might find really boring at the moment, you might find is actually later on the thing that you want to do. Also, stuff that you might think you might not enjoy, you might find that actually you really enjoy. So yeah, your interests are going to change over time. So try different things and have your mind open to trying different stuff. Let me just post a, there we go. So the Savage one, nice name. How do I join? Soulweave has linked to the wiki page. Thanks for that. This is how you join Eve University, but our classes are public, so please feel free to come along to our classes, even if you're not a member. We welcome anyone coming along to our classes and learning. And then also by trying lots of stuff, you meet different people and try different things. You will find different people doing different stuff. And by trying a little bit of everything, you meet loads of different cool people that you can go out and do other stuff with. The great thing about Eve Uni is you can just try a bit of everything. We teach you the basics of loads of different stuff. So you can try a little bit of everything without having to worry. We're here to support you doing stuff. And then once you find out the thing that you really enjoy, then you can go out and do that stuff in a different corporation. Even AO members can stop by, absolutely. Yeah, AO members are welcome to come to our classes and come and join. Yeah, we will teach you stuff that AO will not. Not that I'm biased at all. Diablo says, trying lots of stuff is honestly the best plan early on in Eve. Try the basics of lots of stuff and then double down on the stuff that's fun. Yes, absolutely. So try a little bit of everything. Some stuff you're going to hate, some stuff you are going to really love. So I'm going to leave you with some homework. Normally classes don't have homework, but fuck it, I'm the boss, I can say homework. So after this class, I would give you guys a call to action, okay? If you are a new player to Eve and you've listened to this class and you're like, what do I do now? This is your homework. I would like you to finish the career agents, try the Eve career program, and then pick one activity to try this week. Try one thing, one of the things that we talked about. all these people who are suddenly getting deaf when they're hearing the word homework. So pick one new activity to try this week. Try and attend one uni class or fleet. So yeah, just try and do one new thing that you haven't done before. And it's going to broaden your horizons. Yeah, I say at the end, and now it's time for homework, and everyone leaves. It's the scatter. Yeah. So that's my challenge to you guys. Do one new thing this week. One new thing. Okay, that is it. That is it for me. So thank you guys so much for coming along to this class. I hope you found it useful. I do have a feedback form which I will pop in the Discord channel. Let me just grab a link to it a second. There we go, there is a feedback form. So please, if you have any feedback about the class, what you think should be covered, what I ramble on about too much, then please fill out the feedback form. Let me know. I'm always trying to make this class better, so I would really appreciate your feedback on it. Solhoff says, thank you so much for the lesson. I'll be attending more classes in the future and will be completing my homework dutifully. Yes, thank you. Red Thoth Crowley says, I tried bourbon in my coffee just now. That's new. We're turning this in as a homework assignment, are we? I had bourbon in my coffee. Okay, yeah, so that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, I am happy to hang around in Discord. I am going to go ahead and let me switch to my ending screen. Ooh, shiny. I love the scenes in Twitch. They're super cool. So I'm going to go ahead and end the Twitch stream. Let me just raid someone while I'm here. Who should we raid? Oh, Gustav is streaming. Let's go ahead and raid Gustav, shall we? So yeah, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you being here, and we will, yeah, I will go ahead and end my stream and raid Gustav. And thank you very much for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Sure, there's something I wanted to ask, but my brain is fried. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Go and watch Gustav because he is super awesome. Totally random question. Is it worth it to aim for a T3 destroyer or cruiser? Depends on, oh, is it more worth? Depends on what you want to do. To be honest, depends on what you're interested in doing. So, yeah, if you ask in the general chat and specify what exactly you want to know, you want to do with it, then people will be able to give you advice on what is better. Loki is life. Okay, Red says Loki is life, so there we go. There we go, Yuna, you've got your answer. You need to train for a Loki, apparently. Doesn't matter what you're doing, just Loki is life. Galente boy here, so no Loki for now. Okay, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the class now.